Today, I learn to give as I receive. Today, you learn to give as you receive. What's good, fam? Today, we are going to be studying lesson 158 of A Course in Miracles. We are going to learn to give as we receive. This is going to build off of a previous lesson we have done, which was giving and receiving are one in truth. Now, before we begin, just to kind of recap that lesson, whenever you give something, you must have that thing to give. Meaning, if you give light, if you give joy, if you give blessings, if you give hope, if you give faith, those you must have to give. Now, if you give fear, jealousy, anger, not enoughness, guilt, you must also have those to give. Because if you're seeing guilt outside of yourself, you gave whatever it is that you're projecting guilt. Whatever it is that you're projecting on, you gave it guilt. And you can't project something that is not there within you. Meaning, if you see something outside of yourself that is not love and light, you project it and put it there, and that must mean that you have it to give. And that is what we are here to learn to undo. We do not want guilt. We do not want jealousy, envy, worry, doubt, fear, upset, etc. Any of those forms of fear that fear may take, we don't want none of those. And they're not really there at all. They're all figments of our imagination. But because we believe that it's happening outside of us, we believe that we see a fearful world, a chaotic world, and we, on a level beneath our awareness, believe that our projections are going to come back and attack us. And we are going to release ourselves from the world that we made today by releasing it from the source, releasing that fear from the source, and seeing that it is not really there to begin with. Now, before we begin, one more thing that I do want to say that is going based off of what we just discussed already is there are two types of giving. There is extension and there is projection. These are the two types of giving that the Course talks about, that the Course teaches. Extension is whenever you give something that you really in truth have, that you have in truth, that who you really are has, meaning all you can give is what you are, and all that you are is love, light, happiness, joy. You are all that is eternal, infinite, omnipresence. You are all of those amazing attributes that you would give to God, because God created you like himself. You are an extension of that which you call God, meaning you cannot be any different. Now, whenever you extend, you create, because extension is creation. God created you through extending his being, and you extend your being and therefore create. Meaning, whenever you extend forth something towards someone, you are giving what you do really have in truth. Now, the opposite is also true. Whenever you are looking at someone or something outside of you and you are seeing worry, doubt, or fear, that would not be considered extension. That would be projection, because you're projecting something that is not really there. You can't extend fear because fear does not really exist, but you can project a belief of fear, and a projection has no substance. Like if you go to the movie theaters and you see the projectors projecting on the screen the movie and you don't like the movie, you're not going to go to the screen and start scraping up the screen and trying to stop the projector. It's not there. You are insane if you try to fight a projector and scratch up the screen or interfere with the light. You can block the light so you see your hand shadow on the screen, but it has no substance. The fear has no substance. And trying to fight an illusion, trying to overcome an illusion is really funny if you think about it, because you're trying to overcome nothingness. You are trying to solve nothingness. You are trying to do something with an illusion, and an illusion is not really there. It has no cause. Now, whenever you extend what you are, your beingness. Whenever you project, it is simply a belief that you think exists, that you're projecting outward and seeing outward. Now, we'll talk more about this today, but go ahead and pull up to lesson 158. If you don't got the book yet, the PDF is in the description. Let's go ahead and begin. Today, I learn to give as I receive. What has been given you The knowledge that you are a mind, in mind and purely mind, sinless forever, holy, unafraid, because you were created out of love. Nor have you left your source, remaining as you were created. This was given you as knowledge which you cannot lose. This piece of knowledge that means you cannot lose is like an undeletable file in our computers. So although we can deviate from that knowingness, that file will always remain there. We can never do nothing to change or delete that file. It is the will of God, i.e. our will, because our will and God's will are one. Nor have you left your source, remaining as you were created. This was given you as knowledge which you cannot lose. It was given as well to every living thing, for by that knowledge only does it live. You have received all this. No one who walks the world but has received it. It is not this knowledge which you give, for that is what creation gave. All this cannot be learned. What then are you to learn to give today? Our lesson yesterday evoked a theme found early in the text. Experience cannot be shared directly in the way that vision can. The revelation that the Father and the Son are one will come in time to every mind. Yet is that time determined by the mind itself? Not taught. Yet is that time determined by the mind itself? Not taught. The time is set already. It appears to be quite arbitrary, yet there is no step along the road that anyone takes but by chance. It has already been taken by him, although he has not yet embarked on it. For time but seems to go in one direction, but we but undertake a journey that is over, yet it seems to have a future still unknown to us. Time is a trick, a sleight of hand, a vast illusion in which figures come and go as if by magic. Yet there is a plan behind appearances that does not change. The script is written. When experience will come to end, your doubting has been set. For we but see the journey from the point at which it ended. Looking back on it, imagining, we make it one again, reviewing mentally what has gone by. Powerful, one more time. For we but see the journey from the point at which it ended. Looking back on it, imagining, we make it once again. By imagining the past and thinking of the past experiences that we could have done better, we are making it once again because we're doing it now, which is the only time there is, now. Reviewing the past mentally is reviewing what has gone by already, is bringing it up again and again and again. The past is no longer here, but you are making it more and more and more, perpetuating it by thinking about it now. Let's no longer do that because the past is not really here. It's an illusion. Whenever we are in the now, only love can come from this. And if we're not careful about what we are looking back at in the past, we are going to get lost back there. And we are going to base all of our information and decisions that we're making now off the past, and it's going to continue to perpetuate itself. Let's not do that no more. A teacher does not give experience because he did not learn it. It revealed itself to him at its appointed time, but vision is his gift. This he can give directly, for Christ's knowledge is not lost, because he has a vision he can give to anyone who asks. The Father's will and his are joined in knowledge. Yet there is a vision which the Holy Spirit sees because the mind of Christ beholds it too. Here's the joining of the world of doubt and shadows made with the intangible. Here is a quiet place within the world made holy by forgiveness and by love. Here are all contradictions reconciled, for here the journey ends. Experience unlearned, untaught, unseen, is merely there. This is beyond our goal, for it transcends what needs to be accomplished. Our concern is with Christ's vision. This we can attain. Christ's vision has one law. It does not look upon a body and mistake it for the Son whom God created. It beholds a light beyond the body, an idea beyond what can be touched, a purity undimmed by errors, pitiful mistakes, and fearful thoughts of guilt from dreams of sin. It sees no separation, and it looks on everyone, on every circumstance, all happenings, and all events, without the slightest fading of the light it sees. Me and you are learning to attain this vision, seeing that body over there and knowing that that is not who they are. We see the light past that. Me and you will get to the point where we no longer see a body. We will see the light that is embodying that body, if you will, because that light is what we are. It is what we all are. And we are going to learn how to attain this vision, because once we have this, we will have finally returned to who we really are. Whenever we see anything other than light, we have projected something over the light, because all there is light. Meaning, if I look at that situation, circumstance, event, body, etc., and I see anything other than what it really is, which is light, because everything is an extension of light, therefore everything is light. If I see anything other than that, it is my own projection, and that is what we are here to undo, is our own projections, because our own projections trigger us. They cause uncontrollable and irrational emotions. They cause us to get unhappy, sad, angry. They cause us to react. They cause us to react in crazy ways. They get us triggered. We no longer want those triggers. And instead of trying to make something else change out there, we understand that it is light, and we are going to change our perception of that thing and remove the trigger from its source, which is us, and understand that it is an illusion that was never real, and it is only continuing to exist because of our belief to it. And when we stop flowing our precious life force to that false belief, it can no longer have anything to perpetuate its existence, and it will fade away back into the nothingness from which it emerged, and we will see the world as it really is, and everyone in it as they really are, which is as you really are, which is as God created everything to be: light, love, eternal, infinite, omnipresent. This can be taught and must be taught by all who would achieve it. Powerful. This can be taught and it must be taught by all those who would achieve it. Meaning, if you're looking to achieve this state of mind, this vision, you must teach it, because if you don't teach it, you can't learn it. Just like if you give something, you receive. Meaning, by teaching something to someone, you are giving, and by giving, you receive, and by receiving, you learn. It's a circle. It's a full circle. It requires but the recognition that the world cannot give anything that faintly can compare with this in value, nor set up a goal that does not merely disappear when this has been perceived. And this you give today. See no one as a body. Greet him as the Son of God he is, acknowledging that he is one with you in holiness. Thus are his sins forgiven him, for Christ has vision that has power to overlook them all. In his forgiveness are they gone. Unseen by one, they merely disappear, because a vision of the holiness that lies beyond them comes to take their place. This is powerful. A vision of the holiness that lies beyond that body that you see comes to take their place. Whenever me and you know this and we're anchored in this state of mind, we cannot unlearn it, and we will no longer be triggered, and we will see this love and light in everyone and everything. And because we see it in them, they are healed. Because being healed, all that means is you are in your natural state of being. And when you are in your natural state of being, which is where God would have you be, where you yourself would have yourself be, which is in love and in light, then healing is not necessary because there's nothing to be healed from. You are in your natural state. It's only whenever someone deviates from that natural state that they need to be healed and be brought back to that knowingness. But once they're there again, they no longer need any guidance because there's nowhere to be guided to, because they have returned to all that is. That is a state that me and you are learning to attain more and more and more each day, and then we are going to teach that in order to learn it. We are going to give this love in order to receive it ourselves, so much to the point where teaching is no longer necessary because you have returned to the oneness. In his forgiveness, they are gone. Unseen by one, merely disappear because a vision of the holiness that lies beyond them comes to take their place. It matters not what form they took, nor how enormous they appeared to be, nor who seemed to be hurt by them. They are no more, and all effects they seemed to have are gone. They seemed to have are gone with them, undone and never to be done. Thus do you learn to give as you receive, and thus Christ's vision looks on you as well. This lesson is not difficult to learn. If you remember in your brother, you but see yourself powerful. See yourself in everyone. If that's the only thing that you take away from today, see yourself in everyone. Because whenever you see yourself in everyone, you are going to be a little more aware of how you're treating other people, a little more aware of how you're thinking about other people, a little more aware of how you're speaking about other people to others. Whenever you understand that individual over there is who you are at the core of your being, there's no separation between you and that individual. Although the bodies may say otherwise, the bodies are dust. They are an illusion. They are not really real. Whenever you treat others the way you would want to be treated, what you're doing is you're treating yourself the way that you would have yourself be treated, because they are who you are. This is a concept that me and you have came to understand, that if someone who did not know anything of what we're discussing here today, they would think that this is outrageous. They would think that what we're discussing here is far-fetched and insane, and they would think that it is something other than the truth. And me and you are here in our knowingness that this is all that's going on here, and to think otherwise is insane. Whenever you look on your brother as yourself, you are simply seeing. You are simply seeing what is really there. You are simply having common sense. Whenever you see your brother as somebody else, you are simply hallucinating. You are seeing something that is not there. Therefore, you're not seeing at all. You're just perceiving a projection of your own fear, because they're not separate from you. There is no such thing as separation, and this experience cannot be taught with words, although we are going to get there together if we're not there already, and we're going to master this state of mind, because when we master this, we are in the position to help others master it as well. We cannot lead somebody to where we are not already. If I am in the illusion and this other person is in the illusion, and I'm trying to pull them out of the illusion, but I'm still in the illusion, we're going to go on a hamster wheel. However, if this person's in the illusion and I'm awake in truth, I can guide them to truth. If I know how to do algebra, I could teach this person how to do algebra because I know how to do what I'm teaching. However, if I don't know algebra, I cannot teach somebody algebra. I can't lead someone to where I am not. You cannot lead someone to where you are not. This lesson is not difficult to learn. If you remember, in your brother you but see yourself. If he be lost in sin, so must you be. If you see light in him, your sins have been forgiven by yourself. Each brother whom you meet today provides another chance to let Christ's vision shine on you and offer you the peace of God. This is some powerful stuff we're discussing here. Every single individual you meet today provides another chance to let Christ's vision shine on you and offer you the peace of God. Every single individual you meet today, or at all in general, is giving you another chance to meet yourself. That's all that's going on here. Every individual you meet, every individual body that you think is a body that you meet is giving you another chance to see yourself in them until you master that and you cannot see anything else. You no longer even see the body. You pierce straight through that veil of illusion and you see this individual that is in your presence as who you are, because that is exactly who they are. And whenever you see in that way, you have made it. You are there. You returned. It matters not when revelation comes, for that is not of time. Yet time has still one gift to give, in which true knowledge is reflected in a way so accurate its image shares its unseen holiness. Its likeness shines with its immortal love. We practice seeing with the eyes of Christ today, and by the holy gifts we give, Christ's vision looks upon ourselves as well. And that is the end of lesson 158. Now, these lessons, as you can tell, are getting more and more and more powerful by the lesson. This was a lesson that you had to have done all of the previous ones in order to come to this awareness and experience that we are at right now. If someone were to come to this lesson off the rip, it would be very hard for them to understand. That's like trying to go learn how to do calculus and you haven't even learned subtraction. If you don't know how to subtract, you're going to see the subtraction sign in the calculus problems and you're going to be clueless. So this is some high level information that we're discussing, and even high level is too strong of a word because this is just simply truth. This experience that me and you have just got to together today is the real world. This is simply what is. It is common sense. Whenever we see somebody else, we are really seeing ourselves. If someone were to have told me that before I knew about A Course in Miracles or knew about this type of truth, that would sound like an inspiring quote or something. You know what I mean? But truly experiencing that and seeing nothing but yourself in everyone else is a state of mind that requires practice, because we have practiced so long the opposite of that we have to unlearn all of that practice that we have done so that way we can return back to the state of mind. So let's make sure to practice today, and we will meet here again for tomorrow's lesson 159 of A Course in Miracles. May we never be the same. I will see you there.